Students webinar brought to you by Unilab's External Affairs Division and Parex Corporation. I am Rex Dayo, the lead for Akap Guro, which is a program of Unilab Inc. for the education sector. It's been a week since the opening of these two classes, kaya naman alam namin na maraming kwento ang ating mga teachers and school administrators kung ano nga ang nangyari sa kanilang unang linggo ng pagsabak sa online learning. Mga teachers, buhay pa ba tayo? And I am sure kahit ang mga magulang at ang mga estudyante, may kani-kanyang masasabi tungkol sa kanilang online classes experience. Nakakalito na ngayon. Sino ba ipapasa namin? Yung mga magulang na ba? And speaking of online classes, mahalaga at malalim ang diskusyon natin ngayong araw na to because our topic for the day is about cyberbullying within the perspective of the teachers, the parents, and the students. Hindi po ba mga kaibigan ay naranas na ng mabash ng todo-todo sa social media? Medyo masakit siguro sa puso, ano? At hindi ka makakatulog. Naku, wag naman po sana. Alam nating lahat na halos lahat ng kabataan ay nasa cyberspace na. Lalo na nga pag-aaral ngayon ay naka-online classes pa. So, the exposure of children and also our teachers ay sobrang napakalawak para sa kanila. At ano po ay, in order for us to ensure that they are safe, we need to see if there are possible abuses sa online communication channels. Kaya naman, mahalaga na magtulong-tulong ang mga magulang, ang mga teachers, at pati na rin ang mga estudyante para sa safe learning environment. By the way, ngayon din po ay ginugunita natin ang World Mental Health Day. Kaya ang topic na cyberbullying na ating natin pag-usapan dahil marami po ang naapektuhan sa mga gawi at gawa nating lahat sa social media. Kaya dapat always think before you click. This webinar is brought to you by Parex Corporation with our partnership with Inquirer.net, Now You Know, Visayan Youth Matters, at Catholic Educational Association of the Philippines. We also have new partners at tuwang-tuwa po kami because we have the Council for the Welfare of Children, the Stairway Foundation Inc., at Teach for the Philippines. Maaari niyo din pong mapanood ang webinar nito sa kanilang mga FB pages. And of course, tulad ng mga nakaraang Akap Guro webinar, hindi po ako nag-iisa as the host. Kasama ko po ngayon habang ito si Dr. Jing Velasco Aro, na siyang Medical Director ng Parex Corporation, upang tulungan akong himayin ang ating topic for the day. Kumusta, Dr. Jing?
Hello, Rex! Magandang hapon. So, magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. So, napakasaya ng araw na to, Rex, no? At very exciting yung ating topic na pag-uusapan. Sabi mo nga, cyberbullying, hindi ito biro. And we know the impact of cyberbullying sa maraming tao. So, it can cause anxiety, depression, at patay sa mga victims ng cyberbullying na ito. So, sa araw na to, hindi nakakapagtaka, no, yung matutunan natin, makakatulong ito talaga para sa maraming tao ngayon online, nakarely sa online. At alam natin na malaki ang impact nitong cyberbullying na to sa mental health problems sa ngayon.
Oo, talagang TGIS, Dr. Jing. Thank God it's Saturday because kapiling natin ang mga teachers ngayon. Kaya naman, sasamahan tayo ngayon ng ilang mga experts sa usaping ito so that we can determine what we can do together to help the teachers, the parents, and the students. Can you do the honor to introduce our guest, Dr. Jing?
Salamat, Rex. So, sa araw na to, nagdadala kami, no? Marami tayong naka-line up na mga speakers na tutulong sa atin. With several local and international non-government organizations. His current post revolves on capacitating professionals, advocates, children, and community members of children's rights and protection, child sexual abuse, exploitation, prevention, and cyber safety. So mamaya makakasama natin si Kuni JM. And we also have with us Ms. Isa A. Cabrera, who is from the Policy and Planning Division of Council for Welfare of Children. CWC is the focal interagency body of the Philippine Government for Children. Magandang hapon sa inyo, Miss Aisa. At kasama rin po natin si Miss Maria Cristela Castronuevo, who is a dedicated civil servant with 9 years of diverse experience in the executive and legislative branches of the government, particularly in policy making, legislative operational procedures, defense resource management, and military affairs. She's a legislative officer, the Senate of the Philippines, and a professional fellow of the Young South East Asian Leader Initiative. So, magandang hapon, Ms. Castronuevo. And last but definitely not the least, Rick. So, we're very privileged to have with us again Dr. Maria Lourdes Rosana de Guzman, was an associate professor at the Department of Psychiatry and Behavioral Medicine from the University of the Philippines.
Maraming salamat, Dr. Jing. Naalala ko lang, yung July 14 kasi si Dr. Sana din yung aming nakakwentuhan that day. At ang dami-dami mga teachers na nagtanong kay Dr. Sana about mental health. So talagang napapanood yung ating usapan. And of course, hindi matatapos ang isang AKAP Guru webinar, Doc Jing, kung wala ang ating mga advisory councils. Kahit busy sa pag-address ng pandemya, talaga namang hindi iniiwan ng ating mga teachers sa ating mga AKAP Guru webinar. So pwede ba nating ipaka si Dr. Elizabeth Gallardo? Doc Liz?
Hi! Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat.
I hope you're enjoying the cool breeze in Baguio. And of course, Doc Liz, mamaya po makakakwentuhan natin si Doc Liz about the local situation in her locality. And of course, from the north, punta tayo ng mabilis. Ito po, kung saan Dr. Bell?
Hello po. Magandang hapon sa lahat. Lang kami, Sir Rex.
Maraming salamat, Doc Bell. And we hope sa isang magandang tuhan later with Doc Bell. And of course, ang una natin nasasabak sa ating kwentuhan, Dr. Jing, is ay isang discussion with Mr. John Michael Matibag from the Way Foundation. Tuturuan niya tayo about addressing bullying and online safety through child protection and education. Cheers! Isang virtual applause kay Sir John Michael Matibag.
Okay. Thank you, Sir Rex. Thank you, Dr. Jean. Mag-share lang po ako ng screen po para sa presentation natin. Makabandang araw po sa ating lahat at pagbati ng pupugay sa mga guro natin na nagbibigay pa rin ng patuloy na serbisyo sa mga bata at sa ating komunidad sa kabila ng pandemya. To start, Fairway Foundation is a third-year-old non-government organization and a learning and resource development center in Puerto Galera, based in Puerto Galera in Oriental Mindoro. Our program includes community assistance in the community in Puerto Galera. We have family home program, environmental awareness for children and youth, and our advocacy and Break the Silence campaign to stop child sexual abuse and exploitation in both online and offline environment, and of course, cyber safety and child safeguarding. So, bakit tayo narito ngayon ay to share our initiatives and programs on addressing bullying and online safety through child protection education. So we've conducted in 2014 a survey to publish in 2015. Ang survey ito ay pinangalanan natin o tinawag natin na Cyber Safety Survey, at ito ay para mas maunawaan natin ng mas maayos at para mas makita natin paano nga ba nakikisalamuha at confuse yung mga data sa internet or sa online. With this survey, nagtanong tayo ng more than 1,000 respondents sa age group ng 7 to 12 and more than 1,100 sa age group ng 13 to 16 sa mga bata sa piling lugar sa Metro Manila and Southern Luzon, dito sa Luzon, sa Northern Negros Province and Cebu sa Visayas region, and sa Zamboanga in Mindanao. Para ito ay sa tulong na din ng mga Break the Silence partners natin. Ito, to clear, ito ay hindi peer-reviewed yung study dahil ito ay rapid collection ng mga data natin upang magamit ng Fairway Foundation at ng Break the Silence campaign. Ito yung ilan sa mga results ng study natin in relation to cyberbullying. tatlo at apat sa bawat kabataang Pilipino ay may kakilala na biktima ng cyberbullying. At kadalasan, for marami sa mga to, more than half ng mga batang ito ay social media na bullying. Karamihan din, meron din naman na ilan na nakaka-experience ng bullying through chatting, online chatting, or meron din ng texting. Karamihan sa mga ito ay sa pamamagitan ng pananakot or threat, pero ang ilang forma pa ng bullying ay sa pamamagitan ng photo editing or memes, meron naman ng exposing one's secret conversation or yung private messages, and meron nagpapahiya or humiliation and creation ng poster account. Hindi na kami gumawa ng ating study further study on child yung ginagawa ng mga bata child activity on the online dahil alam natin na may lalabas na National Baseline Study on Violence-Based Crime na ginawa ng Council for the Welfare of Children at ng UNICEF noong 2016. At bahagi din ng laman nito ay ang prevalence kung paano kumikilos at nangingitang ang mga bata sa internet. Talagay dito sa study na ito na about 43% ng children or about isa sa bawat dalawang kabataang Pilipino na may edad 13 to 18 years old ay naka-experience na ng cyber violence. And in relation to cyberbullying, one-third sa mga ito ay nakaranas na ng cyber violence sa pamamagitan o forma ng verbal abuse over the internet or cellphone. Ito mas kilala natin bilang cyberbullying. At para mabigyan tayo ng mas malinaw na definition, balikan natin yung isang Republic Act ng Philippines na Anti-Bullying Act or yung Republic Act 10627 natin. Dito, ang bullying ay legally defined already na ito ay such act na mga severe and repeated verbal, written, and electronic expression or physical gestures. Pero kinakailangan din natin i-take note na bahagi ng provision na ito na ang bullying ay para sa student to student lamang. So, and thus, kung ito ay iba, hindi estudyante ang involved or mas matanda ang involved, ito ay hindi na pumapasok sa legal definition ng bullying sa Philippines. When it comes to cyberbullying naman, ito basically ay bullying but done through the use of technology. So, ibig sabihin, lahat ng applicable provision sa bullying offline na maaaring mangyari din o magawa sa online using technology or gadgets and internet, ito yung mga pasok sa definition ng cyberbullying. So, ang quick up, bullying ay student to student at ang cyberbullying naman ay bullying done through the use of technology or electronic devices. So what we did in Stairway Foundation is that we come up with a cyber-safe learning resources to address online safety. Hindi lamang yung bullying, kundi iba pang mga online safety na risky and harmful sa mga bata natin. So time safety is not only about technology. It is about empowering children with protective behavior. Important na ma-develop at magkaroon ng enough capacity ng mga bata para magkaroon ng protective behavior offline against child sexual abuse and online against online bullying and child protective concerns. So we partner with Department of Education to promote child online protection education in schools. And ilan nga sa mga initiatives natin with DepEd ay ang cyber-safe manuals. Initially, we started involving with the Department of Education through national trainings. We capacitated DepEd personnel on cyber-safe. Pero ito ay basic orientation lamang. Pero mas malaki ang clamor to have a more comprehensive and ready or available learning resources on cyber safety na magagamit ng educators and teachers natin sa kanilang mga lessons everyday sa mga bata. So we launched in 2016 yung cyber safety manuals natin and we have currently grades lesson plan for grades 5 and 6 and grades 7 and 10. Grades 5 and 6 dahil ito yung age group start pa lang sa children's media and internet and 7 to 10 dahil sila naman yung engaged na sa social media pero mas kailangan pa natin bigyan ng proper guidance and capacity to to protect themselves on their online interaction with the internet. We tested modules and we trained yung mga teachers natin and educators on how to we capacitate teachers on how to deliver these learning modules and lesson plans sa kanilang mga estudyante on a classroom setting or face-to-face setting. We also receive student feedback through yung lessons dahil yung mga lessons natin ay talks about social media, mobile, and gaming, and of course, yung cyberbullying. Kapareho lamang ito nung sa junior high school, pero sa junior high school, sinamahan natin yung social networking ng online relationship dahil dito nagsisimula na yung ligawan, dito yung mga online dating and online ligawan ng mga bata. When it comes to mobile command, hindi na dito yung countries and attackers ng mga bata dahil meron na silang capability to engage into interaction and online chatting. Meron tayo na online addiction and of course, hindi man nawawala yung inappropriate content and conduct ng mga bata on cyberbullying. Maganda yung mga lesson plans na ito dahil it is designed with an experiential learning method. Ibig sabihin, mga lessons natin ay merong mga experiential learning activities kung saan naihahalin tulad ng mga bata yung karanasan nila sa activities during lesson discussions at paano ito nagkakapareho sa mga gawain sa internet at paano sila magiging safe sa ating internet. Isa sa mga pilot areas natin ay ang Calapan City and Mindoro. At meron na tayong numbers dito ng reported child protection concerns ng mga estudyante before yung lesson plan implementation and after the implementation of lesson plans. So in year 1, wala tayong lesson plan na nai-implement. Year 2 and year 3, meron tayong lesson plans pero hindi natin masyadong natutukan yung monitoring part ng division offices. Pero in year 4, we conducted a regular monitoring and continuous technical support on how to deliver yung mga lesson plans para mabigyan ng confidence and enough knowledge yung mga teachers natin, educators natin. Plus, we also integrate yung cyber safety sa gender and development programs, sa SSG and SPG activities. And we also included this activity on general assemblies ng mga parents and teachers and sa media and advocacy ng Department of Education. As a result, nataas yung reported cases ng child online protection concerns at nakita natin na hindi talaga enough yung pagbibigay lamang ng learning resources o yung mga lesson plans sa mga teachers. Mas kinakailangan nila ng additional interventions at ng activities to capacitate them kung paano ma-deliver ng maayos ang mga lesson plans na ito sa classroom or sa face-to-face setup. We also have additional and continuous intervention activities. We partner with Department of Education to launch our cyber safe learning videos, and it is dubbed on Daliri Eskwela. Currently, we have 4 Daliri Eskwela videos, and right now we will be featuring our Daliri Eskwela videos on cyberbullying. Panoodin.
Presenting Daliri Eskwela, a school to teach kids paano maging safe sa internet.
Hello mga bata! Hello mga daliri ng mga bata! Ako si Tom, and today ang lesson natin ay cyberbullying. Who likes being on Facebook? Like nyo ba ang Facebook? Ano mga nilalike nyo sa Facebook? Like ko mag-like! Pero minsan, nagiging down ako dahil sumusobrang panunukso. Nagiging bullying na. Ano ba ang difference ng tuksuhan sa bullying? Pag between friends, pwede tuksuhan lang. Pero pag sumobra na, pag nakakasakit na ng damdamin, ang tawag dito ay cyberbullying.
Nagkakatawaan lang, Tom. Siya kasi ang nagsimula. Siya talagang cyberbullying.
Huwag na magturuan. Next time na nasa Facebook o nasa internet, bago mag-type, isipin kung nakakasakit o may mapapahiya sa sasabihin. Chismis, sensitive o pribadong impormasyon tungkol sa iba, o ikaw ay nagpapanggap para mapasama ang taong ginagaya, at sadyang may hindi isama sa grupo. Thumbs down! Basta nakakasakit ng damdamin. Cyberbullying ito. Cyberbully kayo? Ipopost ko nga yun.
Huwag ganyan, Tom. Pag ginawa mo yan, bully ka rin.
So anong dapat kong gawin?
To stop bullying, remember, stop B. S. Screenshot the message para may proof pag sinumbong sa teachers or magulang. T. Tumigil mag-reply sa pangbubuli. O. Open up. Mag-open up o kausapin ng mga magulang o sino mang nakakatanda na pinagkakatiwalaan mo. P. Private. Ilagay sa private ang settings ng Facebook para hindi lahat makakakita. B. Block the bully online. Oh, mga bata, how do you stop bullying? Stop B.
Mga bata, laging maging handa laban sa cyberbullying.
Pwede itong mangyari sa emails or instant messages, text messages, web pages or blogs, chat rooms, Facebook, Twitter, at mga social media sites.
Agree!
Naintindihan niyo ba, mga bata? Pwedeng magtawanan. Huwag lang magsakitan ng damdamin.
Like ko na ulit kayo. Like ko na ulit mag-internet at ang cyberbullying, thumbs down.
Sa Dali Eskwela, learn how to be cyber safe.
So yung Daliri Eskwela natin, lahat ng videos na ito ay, kung mapapansin nyo yung last ay yung wait. Meron pa itong naka-incorporate na question para matingnan kung ano yung naiintindihan at tututunan ng mga bata kung sakaling gagamitin ito ng ating mga guro, ng ating mga teachers sa kanilang face-to-face or online learning. Bukod sa cyberbullying, we also have Daliri Eskwela on pornography, on online gaming addiction, and on online chatting. And aside sa mga activities na ito or videos na ito, meron naman tayong counterpart para sa ating mga magulang. Dahil alam natin na hindi lamang dapat sa school tinuturuan ng mga bata, bagkus dapat itinutuloy ang pagtuturo sa ating mga tahanan. So we also develop a parents brochure to continue education in home. At ito ay naka-forma din ng Daliri Eskwela pero naka-printed, ready to print brochures. So, on Daliri Eskwela, on online gaming, internet chat, cyberbullying, and pornography. Itong mga babasahin na ito ay parang nakikipag-usap sa mga magulang kung paano gabayan ang kanilang mga anak. Aside from the Daliri Eskwela, we also have the cyber safety learning courses which was launched last year, 2009. And currently, we have 3 courses available sa aming e-learning portal. Ang Be a Buddy Not a Bully na cyberbullying, ang online friending na add friends not strangers, and some things are not worth sharing, or yung content sharing. So, i-run through ko lang kayo sa online learning namin. Sorry. Ayan. So, ito ay free for all. Pwedeng mag-enroll yung mga bata natin at kung makikita natin ay yung animation videos nito ay nagpapakita ng offline bullying or yung offline issue at paano ito nakatranslate, paano ito naiilipat sa online environment or yung cyberbullying na natin. Interactive din yung mga e-learning natin dahil meron itong mga built-in na activities, may mga questions, may assessment ito na may enjoy din naman ng mga bata natin. Aside from e-learning and cyberbullying, we also scaling up dahil kanina nga sa survey or dun sa datos ng Kalapan, nakita natin na mas kailangan pa-igtingin yung capacity ng mga teachers sa pag-develop ng capacity nila on how to deliver itong mga cyber safe modules na natin. So we have a target of 17 regional trainers of trainers in the Philippines, and this was developed to develop yung division level competencies sa cyber safe trainers natin. Itong mga division level na ito, ang goal natin ay sila naman yung mag-roll out sa kanilang mga division level, sa kanilang respective divisions. Ito ay all organized by the Department of Education in partnership with Stairway Foundation na libre ang pagbibigay ng serbisyo ng Stairway Foundation. Before the pandemic, we finished 13 regional TOTs sa buong Pilipinas. At currently, meron na lamang tayong natitirang 4 na regions and most dito ay matatagpuan sa Mindanao Islands. And nakipag-usap na din tayo, may mga conversations na with the Department of Education kung paano matatapos yung TOTs na ito sa 4 na remaining regions. At ito siguro ay sa mga susunod na buwan sa pamamagitan ng online dahil tayo ngayon ay mostly online na yung trainings and webinars natin. We also continue our community-based cyber safety advocacies. Members of the Break the Silence National Network all over the Philippines ay nagko-conduct ng kanilang mga community-based cyber safety education sa community, sa barangay, sa school, in partnership with LGUs and with local communities, even partner with faith-based organizations sa kanilang mga communities para madagdagan yung capacity and knowledge ng mga bata sa online safety and of course yung child sexual abuse and exploitation prevention na advocacy ng Break the Silence. And lastly, in support sa Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan ng Department of Education, in the coming months, I will be releasing a supplemental learning resources na maaaring magamit para sa bata ng mga educators natin, ng mga teachers natin. Ito ay in a format na ng Alternative Delivery Mode o ADM ng Department of Education, and we've covered yung topics on child sexual abuse and child sexual abuse prevention or yung CSAP and cyber safety. Currently, we've developed yung grades 1 to 3, grades 4 to 6, and 7 to 10 na ADM modules on CSAP and cyber safety. And most probably, or nasa pipeline natin dito sa Tagalog, Filipino, and isa pang dialect. Ito yung itsura ng ADM module ng Stairway Foundation na nakaporma sa ADM ng Department of Education. Stairway Foundation is also open for partnership with organizations to capacitate your community and your stakeholders on child sexual abuse and exploitation prevention, cyber safety, and child safeguarding. To know more about Stairway, you can visit us at cybersafe.asia or enroll your children and kahit yung mga adults natin sa e-learning at stairwayfoundation.org and visit us at Stairway Foundation. Thank you so much. Over to you, Sir Rex and Dr. Reggie.
Maraming salamat, JM. So that was an eye-opener. So malamang ang ating mga tagapakinig at mga nanonood sa atin, maraming natutunan sa iyong presentation. At nakakatuwang malaman na hindi nag-iisa ang mga magulang, ang mga guro para proteksyonan ng kanilang mga anak because there are so many resources that your organization is offering for online safety. So speaking of pangangalaga sa ating mga kabataan, now we call on Miss Isa Cabrera from the Council for the Welfare of Children. Magandang hapon po, Miss Isa.
Good afternoon po sa ating lahat, sa lahat ng mga kasama natin sa live stream at syempre sa organizers na din po ng event na ito. Thank you for inviting the Council for the Welfare of Children to be here in this afternoon's very important endeavor.
Salamat po, Ma'am Isa. Ma'am Isa, maaari mo ba kaming bahagian kung ano ba itong sinusulong ng inyong organization? I know that kayo ay isa sa mga katulong ng Department of Health sa pagsusulong ng karapatan ng mga kabataan. So, maaari po ba, Ma'am Isa?
Yes, thank you, Doc Jean. Siguro po magsisimula ako doon sa pag-introduce ng kung ano ang CWC, ano? So, ang Council for the Welfare of Children ay isang ahensya ng gobyerno na ang trabaho ay ang policy making at ito ay isang oversight agency para sa lahat ng concerns on children. Ito din yung isang ahensya na nagko-coordinate ng implementation at saka ng enforcement ng mga batas, ng mga polisiya, pati ng mga programa para sa welfare and protection of the child. And lastly, ito ay isa sa or main agencies na nagmo-monitor din ng compliance ng Pilipinas sa mga international commitments gaya ng Convention on the Rights of the Child. Yun po, Dr.
So, gano'n po ba kahalaga yung ginagampanan ng tungkulin ng mga eskwelahan at mga guro sa pagsulong itong mga karapatan ng mga bata? At may issues tungkol dito sa handling ng mga social media, lalo na ngayon, rapat yan kasi online na lahat, no? In terms of protecting our children.
Opo, sobrang mahalaga po, no? Magandang nabanggit po ninyo yan kasi napapanahon talaga na halos lahat online na. So, dito po gusto ko pong ibahagi na sa United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, mayroong mga iba't ibang kategorya or apat na broad categories ang mga karapatan ng mga bata. Una na dito ay ang survival or yung right to life, meaning ito yung mga pag-meet ng mga basic needs, gaya ng ah, sa pagkain, sa tirahan, at sa pananamit. Pangalawa yung sa protection, kung saan dapat meron tayong safe and positive environment. Kasama dito yung online environment, syempre. Pangatlo, yung participation, kung saan ang mga bata ay aktibong nakikilahok kasama ang kanilang mga pamilya at komunidad. At syempre, ang higit sa lahat na makaka-relate ang mga nakikinig at nanonood sa atin ngayon, yung right to development. Sakop nito yung right to information and education. Ngayon, alam naman natin po na sa panahon ng pandemic, in-impose na ng DepEd at ng ating mga learning institution yung various distance learning delivery modalities. Kasama dyan ang online learning. Number one po yan dyan. Gusto nating i-remind na syempre kasabay ng mga karapatang yan, nandun din yung responsibilidad na maging responsible user ng technology. Or yung kapag ikaw ay nasa online, mahalagang alam mo kung ano ang tama at mali. Yun po yung gusto kong i-share dito.
Right, no? So it's a shared responsibility talaga. Napakahalaga ng responsibilidad din ng mga magulang, mga proteksyonan, yung mga bata sa kanilang mga karapatan nila, di ba, magkakaibag na responsibilidad. So, Ma'am Aisa, ano po ba ang mabuti at masamang dulot nitong access sa online information? At saka, meron po ba kayong mababahagi sa amin na data with regard to cyberbullying?
Maganda po din yan na nabanggit nyo yan, Doc, na very interesting din yan. And gusto din talagang ipaalam or i-share ng CWC na tama po kayo, yung pag-access po sa information communication technology or yung pagiging online ay may kaakibat na opportunities and at the same time, meron ding mga risks. So, sa opportunities, syempre, kami sa CWC, ginagamit namin ito na opportunity para makapag-promote kami ng child rights, no, or yung karapatang pambata. Nagsisilbi din itong, syempre, gaya namin, lahat tayo, source of information natin yung online. Kaya nga, di ba, may tinatawag na pag meron kang hindi alam, i-google mo. Parang ganon, di ba? So, paraan din po ito para magkaroon tayo ng access sa learning. Also, nagiging paraan na rin siya ngayon, lalo ngayong pandemic, lalo na noong ECQ, way ito para makapag-report or para makahingi ng tulong kapag ikaw ay naabuso or meron kang mga pinagdadaanan, may mga online na available na platform para matulungan tayo. So, yun din po ay nagiging paraan para makapag-interact tayo sa mga kaibigan natin, kapamilya natin. Pero tama ka, Doc, bukod sa opportunities na yan, meron ding mga risk or yung technology-related violence na tinatawag. Kanina, na-share ni JM sa kanyang presentation yung about doon sa violence na nangyayari online. Ayon sa isang pag-aaral na ginawa ng CWC noong 2016, yung National Baseline Study on Violence Against Children, sinasabi nung study na yon na 2 sa 5 bata or 43.8% ay mga batang nakaka-experience ng violence online. Kasama dito yung sexual violence at higit sa lahat, yung pinag-uusapan natin ngayon na cyberbullying. Yan po. Pinatunayan din ito or sinuportahan din ito ng datos ng PNP na noong panahon ng March hanggang May, mayroong naitalang 2,600 plus na kaso ng violence against children. Nadagdagan pa, in fact, nung nag-June na, meron pang naidagdag na 1,300 plus. Kasama po dito yung mga kaso ng rape, ng acts of lasciviousness, and child abuse and exploitation. Siyempre kasama po dyan yung online. gusto ko din pong i-share ngayong hapon na pati sa report ng DOJ Cybercrime Office, naitala po yung nakakabahalang increase kasi more than 100% increase po. In fact, 264% po yung increase ng mga report na related sa online sexual exploitation. Kaya mahalagang malaman natin to para tayo, kasama ng mga guro na kasama natin ngayong hapon, ay mapaalalahanan yung ating mga estudyante, mga bata at kabataan. So, yan po. Lastly, gusto ko po din i-share yung mga rason kung bakit sila nabubuli online or even offline, mga paraan din ito. Minsan, nabubuli dahil sa height at saka sa weight. Minsan dahil sa kanilang itsura, minsan naman sa kulay ng balat, minsan yung kung saan nagmula yung pamilya nila, pati minsan sa mga opinion nila at saka sa beliefs nila, doon sila nasa-start na mabash. And even pati yung kawalan ng pera, nagiging dahilan yung kahirapan. Pag mahirap ka, pwedeng source din yun po ng pagiging na mabubuli ka, even in your relationship. Ayun, so yung
Opo, nakaka-alarma po, no? Salamat sa pagbabahagi niyan, Ma'am Aisa. So, nakaka-alarma siya. So, lalo ngayon, no, hindi natin alam kung hanggang kailan magtatagal na we will have access to online, and you're right in saying na dapat tama ang pagkakamit natin all of these access to technology. Meron po ba kayong mapapayo, no, sa ating mga guro at mga magulang upang pasigurado nating ligtas ang ating mga anak sa kanilang mga online classes, lalo na sa panahon ngayon?
Yes po, Doc. Very important din po yan. Meron po kaming mga naisibahagi na tips para sa mga magulang or even kasama na rin yung mga caregiver. Siyempre, bilang mga guro, parang alam naman natin yan, na noon pa man pinapagpulit natin, parang pangalawang magulang or tagapangalaga ng mga anak or ng mga bata ngayon. So, dito po sa tips, ang unang-una, mag-set po tayo ng mga rules para sa screen time or para sa learning time. Meaning, rules para katulad ng kailan mag-online, hanggang kailan pwedeng mag-online, sino-sino yung mga dapat na kasama, or iba pang mga rules, no, para mas mabantayan or para mas maging safe tayo habang tayo ay online. Pangalawa, maganda din po, lalo na sa mga magulang, maganda din na ma-build yung relationship ng parent and child, no? Para matuto sila na makapagbahagi ng mga pinagdadaanan nila, maging komportable. Pangatlo po, yung pag-spend ng oras online kasama yung pagtuturo doon sa inyong mga anak, maganda din po yun na opportunity para hindi lang sila maturuan specifically yung tungkol doon sa sinesearch or ginagawa online, kung hindi, pati po yung appropriate behavior. Ano ba dapat ang kilos at galaw kapag ikaw ay online? Kasama po yun. At last po siguro na tip that I can give is yung kapag po mayroong ibinahagi ang inyong anak or ang inyong estudyante na nakaramdam sila na uncomfortable sila online or even offline experience, huwag po natin yung ipagsawalang bahala. So meaning, take it seriously kasi baka mamaya, yun na po yung start or yun na po yung initial na signal na nagsasabing it's either na nababiolate yung kanilang karapatan or even sa cyberbullying sila. So, yun po yung mga wag nating ipagwalang bahala. Yun po siguro, Doc, ang maibibigay kong tips. And kasama din po siguro dito, sa screen po natin, maaring ma-share, mayroong mga available na child helplines. In case na mayroon kayong alam na nakakaranas nito, in case na kayo mismo ay nakaranas nito, lalo na mga bata ito at kabataan, dito po kayo pwedeng tawag or kumontak, nakikita natin ngayon sa ating screen. May iba't ibang mga hotlines po yan. May mga ilan po dyan na mga libre, na maaaring tawagan, gaya ng 163 na in partnership with kayo na pag tinawagan niyo ito, may mga sasagot talaga at tutugon, no, sa mga pangangailangan at mga report. That's it, Doc.
Salamat po. Salamat ng marami, Miss Aiza. No? So, sana nakuha po na ating mga tagapakinig na nanonood sa atin yung mga hotlines na maaari nating tawagan. So, ngayon po, punta po tayo next. Meron pa tayong mga mahalagang bisita sa araw na ito. Next.
Mukhang nag-enjoy kayo sa kwentuhan niyo, Dr. Regine at Miss Ice. Ang dami po namin natutunan, yung mga mommies, mga daddies, apart from our teachers, sana po ay nakuha niyo po yung mga tips na galing kay Miss Aiza. Sobrang napaka-insightful po ng mga sinabi niya kung paano natin mapoprotektahan ang ating mga anak while they are engaging online. Sa isang banda, ang mga social media sites ay naging daan para sa isang malayang ekspresyon ng sa loobin ng mga tao. But such freedom also carries a certain level of responsibility. Lalo na kung nalalabag na nito ang karapatan ng bawat isa. And if it's causing harm already, such as stress and trauma. Kaya kasama din po natin ngayon si Ms. Maria Cristela Castronuevo, who works under the Office of the Senate Pro Tempore, upang makakwentuhan tayo ukol sa mga batas na naaayon sa cyberbullying. Stella, sa panahon ngayon po ng online classes, madaling kumuha ng mga videos ang mga tao at i-post po sa mga social media accounts na may mga kasamang muna, minsan yung mga away sa eskwelahan, pinopost, tapos nagiging viral. Mayroon po bang mga batas tayo na nagbibigay ng proteksyon sa mga bata at sa nakatatanda, katulad ng teachers sa usapin ng cyberbullying, lalo na kapag minors po yung involved?
Good afternoon, everyone. Sa lahat ng mga pinagdadalo sa ating live stream, good afternoon, Beth. First and foremost, thank you for inviting me. Thank you, Akapulo, for inviting me in this very worthy activity today in this Saturday Western. And I would like to put a disclaimer on the onset that I am not a lawyer, so I will share insights that I tried my very best to put in a layman's perspective for all our guru out there. So, as mentioned by Kuya JM, and Aisha, and even our host this afternoon, totoong napapanahon na pag-usapan itong usapin ng cyberbullying. Not only because we have shifted into online learning, but basically because internet has already become so accessible to almost everyone, regardless of age, gender, political affiliation, social philosophy, among others. You know, Rex, and sa lahat ng mga guro natin na nakikinig, I read it somewhere a very long time ago na nung na-popularize yung sabihang the pen is mightier than the sword, it was meant to highlight the power of our thoughts, of our minds, of our ideas, to bring hope up and to institute change. Pero sa current situation natin ngayon, the pen, which can be very well be a tap of a button because of social media, nag-invest din yung life natin eh. Sometimes for the good, sometimes for the bad. Social media and access to social media to some extent tends to, decrease our normal sensibilities and even basic civility and courtesy at any one time. Na-highlight it ito during the pandemic when everyone is living a life online. And in fact, to supplement lang yung data ni Ms. Ai sa kanila, there is also a recent article indicated that during the pandemic, when people are kept at home and were asked to practice social or physical distancing, cyberbullying in the forms of one hate speeches, hate mean commentaries, and the like from Snapchat to TikTok to FB to Instagram has increased globally by an average of 70%. So imagine the toll on the mental health of all these ones, especially our children at home and our teachers in school. And then when we open our social media accounts every day, chances are we see posts and comments that are meant to scream, embarrass, undermine or discredit competence and intelligence, lalo na sa mga guro natin, medyo nauuso ito ngayon. Gender, or simply make a person a laughing stock. People tend to be mean and they generalize things. For example, one post goes viral na a teacher committed or did an act na hindi lang fall within one person's standard and then it became viral and then naging stigma sa for the entire profession na generalize yung kaburuan, which is very much unfair. So also, a lot of people people do not fact check nowadays. So, I mentioned this because when these actions can be done loosely, this may also have legal implications that may be considered as significant as under different laws in our country. So one is, as mentioned by Kuya Jay and kanina, yung Anti-Bullying Act of 2013 or RA 1067, which is basically in a school setting sa applicable. Bullying occurring a student to student. So, pag paulit-ulit, repeated, yung acts na ginagawa ng isang estudyante towards sa isa pang kapwa mag-aaral, either written, verbal, or electronic expression, or physical gesture, or any combination of that, and collectively ginawa rin online that would cause physical or emotional harm, damage to property, at ginawang hostile yung environment for learning, at nag-infringe ng isa pang mag-aaral, ang tawag dito ay bullying or cyberbullying when done on online platform. Yan po yung klarong provision ng batas. And then, when an action done to belittle another student or a group of students in a school setting na gender-based and humiliate another person because of sexual orientation and gender identity, that is also considered as bullying and cyberbullying when done online. So, of course, another law that protects the rights of our children is RA 76, which I'm sure most of us are familiar, lalo na si Miss Aisa, so pinag-aral dito, which is Special Protection of Children Against Abuse, Exploitation, and Discrimination. Now, the interesting part, paano naman yung mga guro, mga adult, na
Oo, kasi sila din, nakakaranas din ito, Miss Stella, no? Actually, sa mga comment box na nagtatanong sila, since you have defined parang student to student, pero paano naman kapag si teacher na yung nabully?
Yes. So, what is yung mga teacher natin ay hindi covered nitong which yung mga ginagawa natin na makakakos ng dishonor, discredit, contempt of another person, or even something that people na magatarnish ang memory ng isang namayapa na, these are severely punished under libel sa ating revised penal code. Ngayon, when you do it online, that can be cyber libel. So, kumbaga, there's also that protection. Also, the law clearly states yung cyber libel ay magiging liable lang yung original poster of any, post. Like,
Hindi kasama yung nagko-comment at saka yung mga nag-share.
Nagko-comment, nagla-like.
Yes,
Oo.
yes.
But still, there is this protection somehow within our laws for this kind of offenses. Again, yung slander, defamatory death, so covered din siya ng ating revised penal code. And then, there's also some, mention of this online defamatory sa civil code natin, kung nakadamage ka ng reputasyon ng iba. So, pasok din dito ng mga provisions din yung civil code natin dito. And even the labor code, when someone spreads rumors or intriga against a co-worker or the superior and vice versa, pwede din siyang makonstitute as cyber libel and slander. Lalo na kapag nagkaroon ng naging valid cause yun to terminate or to affect someone's job. So, yun yung mga batas natin. Kung yun yung entirety ng mga batas natin that gives us protection.
Diba, mahalaga kasi yun. I mean, as a teacher kasi, syempre parang ang interest natin, gusto natin nagtuturo lang tayo, pero hindi talaga maiiwasan na may mga pagkakataon na ganyan. Ms. Stella, meron po kayong meron po bang guidelines na sinusunod kapag halimbawa nasa school setting, meron po bang cyber safety protection protocols tayong matatawag?
The school setting or anti-bullying act provides for, a comprehensive anti-bullying procedures. Meron siyang every public and private school from kindergarten, elementary, and secondary are required to come up with, an anti-cyberbullying policy, which is clearly outlined in the law kung ano yung mga components niya. So, and even before that, actually, that already institutionalized zero tolerance against any form of violence against the child. So, meron na yung mga DepEd order para sa child protection committee. So, nagpa-follow sila ng certain protocols which is outlined na sa mga DepEd department orders. And ngayon, come this anti-bullying law, na-reinforce pa siya, na-institutionalize pa siya, na itong mga anti-bullying policy sa lahat ng eskwelahan should be comprehensive, multifaceted, and shall involve all education stakeholders and personnel. So, medyo mahaba siya, and it should be adopted by all the schools. Meron naman siyang pro forma template as provided by the IRR of the law and the DepEd order. And it is mandatory and it is subject to review because sabi nga ni KJ kanina, experiential siya eh. There may be some adjustments needed along the way in this protocol. So therefore, itong mga protocols na to na pinaprovide ng batas are subject to revision based on experiences as long as it is implemented in the Department of Education. And then, in a nutshell, ano ba yung kailangan dito sa policy na to? Of course, you have to put in prevention programs, intervention programs, and of course, the procedures on how to address complaints. Basically, mahaba, pero can be summarized naman para later on.
Yes. Actually, thank you, Ms. Stella, for summarizing everything. Alam namin na medyo marami namin itong batas, pero it's good for teachers to know na marami talagang batas na pumoprotekta sa kanila. I think my last question, Ms. Stella, is I'm sure na minsan may mga hindi pagkakaintindihan ng mga teachers, estudyante, o mga magulang na nauubi sa rants or negative posts sa kanilang mga social media pages. Ano kaya yung pwede nilang gawin dito para at least ma-resolve nila yung mga ganong issue?
Okay, so siguro dun sa question na yan, it all boils down to the basic freedom of expression natin eh. When we feel that we all have that freedom of expression at currently hindi pagkakaunawaan, we are entitled to say our piece regardless if makasakit tayo or hindi. So, I would like to, intro muna na when we talk of this freedom of expression, sa batas klaro na, Supreme Court has a ruling on this issue answer to it. Ang sabi ng Supreme Court, ang freedom of expression is not an absolute, nor is it an unfettered license that gives immunity for every possible use of language and prevents the punishment of those who abuse this freedom. So, for example, sabi ng Supreme Court, ang slander, libel, nude, and abuse speech, as well as fighting words, are not entitled to constitutional protection and may be penalized. So, freedom of speech must not be infringed. It was guaranteed sa mga ating constitution. But we should always remember that this is not a right without any limitation. In the end, we have to err on the side of caution. It is always best to devote our strokes of fingers, our clicks of our mouth to intellectual discourse rather than risk being held liable under the law. After all, our minds should always be mightier than our pens. So, going back to the question, kung hindi maa-avoid anong gagawin? Sabi ko nga kanina, while hindi kasama yung mga guro sa anti-bullying, actually, ibig sabihin wala silang protection under the law. So, usually for cases nga that cyber would apply. So, COJ yung procedure natin dyan. But of course, we don't want naman to always elevate to cases sa barangay. Lalo na yung anti-bullying act, it doesn't provide it. Ang exclusive jurisdiction ng bullying the school setting is only within the school and environment. Hindi sa pwede i-elevate sa barangay for a mutual settlement. That's because that's the innovation of that. So, actually, when it was either the middle in the Senate in 2013 and 12, way back, the intent of the law was for it to become innovative. Now, sabi nila, the heart of the message is the education of parents about bullying and get them familiar educate their children at home then on what things they can and they cannot do. Going back to Miss ICT nila, alam at tama at hindi. And then I personally think though, na yung mga hindi pagkakaintindihan ng mga bata, ng magulang at guro, mahalaga na may batas. Pero mas mahalaga siguro na mas regular na maging bahagi ng learning process for all stakeholders yung mga anti-bullying policies ng school to keep them reminded every so often na ito yung pwede, ito yung hindi pwede, ito yung tama, hindi tamang gawin based on the policies that the school has. So that's protected the new teachers once he or she took caution and i-caution niya yung mga estudyante niya. And then, part of this teacher information system for instance, online etiquette or online forum or what others call as etiquette nowadays. So, ito yung mga, instead of regulating it, legal agad yung process. Because, honestly, and the real back of it, the law will never capture everything. You know, in real life, yung matino at mabuting pag-uusapan ng goes a very long way in settling these differences, especially between parents and teachers. But of course, it will always be no harm kung dalawakan yung pangunawa. And ito, tried and tested. So parang owning up our mistakes is also welcome, di ba? If we can click to harm, then maybe we can also click to say sorry. And that, that prevents us from going into legal. I mean, alam natin, and recently, our teachers are very busy. Hindi na yan mahati yung oras sa pamilya sa trabaho. So, yung pag-take ng legal action, well, it is always a worthy endeavor, lalo na kung alam mo talaga ikaw yung agrabyado, baka naman ma-resolve ka ng mga ganitong, outside of the legal bounds. So, on this note also, I would like to um, solicit na rin, because our teachers, yung mga nakikinig na yun, we are on the ground, yung kayo yung nakaka-experience. Malamang may mga loopholes yung patas natin, so malamang kayo yung may experience ng baka ito dapat maging policy recommendation, so you're already welcome to direct the message, so maybe we can come up with a policy recommendation after all of this, na para lang to institutionalize whatever kind of protection na sabihin mo lang, and then we put it in the law and we certify.
Napakagaling naman, Tela. I mean, ang saya-saya, no? If you can click to harm, you can also click and say sorry. I mean, wala naman kasi talagang perfectong tao. Minsan talaga sa bukso ng damdamin, nakaka-post ka. I mean, na-enjoy mo, na nilalike ng mga tao, but you don't know na nakakasakit ka pala. So, thank you so much, Stella. Actually, marami pang questions sa'yo, but we will reserve it for Q&A because we will go to a kwentuhan with what happens naman sa mental health kapag nagkakaroon ng cyberbullying. So, I'll turn us over to Doc Jing and ang kwentuhan niya with Dr. Rosana de Guzman. Thank you, Stella.
Thank you, Rex. Thank you, Ms. Castronuevo. No, napakahalaga ng mga binahagi mo sa amin. No? So, direct to the point at hinimay mo yung batas, mga policies para sa ganun ay mas maunawaan ng mga guro at iba pang mga nakikinig at nanonood sa atin. So, sa portion na to, ngayon naman ito isang mahalaga rin na pag-usapan natin. No? Let's bring cyberbullying. Ano bang nangyayari sa bahay? And with us, again, I'd like to welcome Dr. Rosana de Guzman para mas maunawaan natin ang implication ng cyberbullying and the roles of the family in protecting the children. Tara?
Okay, thank you. I hope I'm heard. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat, and I would like to thank the organizers for coming up with this very apt issue. No, that is a concern for us doctors, health professionals, taking care of children and adolescents. It's not easy to know how and when to step in as a parent. For starters, most kids use technology differently from the way we do. In fact, their digital world is quite intimidating for us. And sometimes we're afraid that we might get into their privacy. Okay? But staying involved in kids' cyber world, just as in the real world, can help us parents and teachers to protect them from dangers. And one of these dangers is the need to be aware of cyberbullying because it has grown nowadays, and parents and teachers have learned about how to deal with it. Remember, cyberbullying is an aggressive behavior that is intentional and intentionally directed at an individual. Cyberbullying may happen accidentally, but remember, when it becomes repeated, you know, intense, no, long term, frequent cyberbullying, then it can leave the victims and the bullies at greater risk for physical and mental health problems. Can I have the next slide, please? Yes, next slide. Okay, so if for the children we call it cyberbullying, but in the adults we call it cyber harassment and eventually cyber stalking. In a study that they made, asking the Canadian Teachers Foundation, teachers rank cyberbullying as their primary concern because about 86% state that bullying and violence are serious problems in public schools. Okay? And because we already have established that there is an association of cyberbullying and suicide. This is what we're finding out now in the last regional survey that we conducted in Region 3 among children and adolescents who have expressed suicidal thoughts and suicidal attempts. Most of them have been associated with cyberbullying. Next slide. Okay, so what are we going to do? What is the role of healthcare providers? There are three things that we can do. First is screening, then validation, and eventually advocacy. And I'm very happy with the three speakers who have done a lot of advocacy for cyberbullying. In fact, it should be that every school has to have a an anti-cyberbullying program. But for screening, it's simply asking the child. Usually, the child, one thing that in screening, what we offer for children, especially children, is we ask them together with the parents. You know, if they are less than 8 to 10 years old, how often do you get bullied? How long have you been bullied? How are you bullied or where you are bullied? But for adolescents higher, that's ages 10 to 17, it's good that they fill up a questionnaire because they will report it if they are asked. Okay? Validation is very important because you have to ask children and adolescents about involvement in cyberbullying. No? It's very informative, and you have to, once they say, it's not easy to talk about that I am bullied. Why? Why is it that for children? Because they think that if they're going to say that they are bullied, there's fear of stigma and discrimination. That's number one. And remember, uh, they will be denied computer privileges or phone privileges if they're going to talk about it to their parents. That's why we have to be very careful on how we have to handle cases of cyberbullying. You know, the effect of cyberbullying. Uh, is more than the traditional face-to-face bullying that we see, no? Yung traditional face bullying may verbal abuse, may was this physical abuse, so that's what we see. But not it's not the same for cyberbullying. Why is it different from the traditional physical verbal bullying that we see in schools? Number one is the online context where bullying occurs is now being accessed by more students and almost universally by young adults. Maybe just one text, no, or just one, can be seen by a lot of people. And the thing is, number two, non-stop bullying can continue outside the school hours, including nights and weekends, which with the potential for harassment and abuse once it goes viral, no, with target large audience that crosses geographic barriers. That's why it can be very alarming and very frustrating for the students, no, because they do not have any more control of it. And the third is cyber bullying victimization is definitely associated with mental health issues and academic problems, no. Particular concern again is the strong and independent association between cyberbullying and suicide among young people. Next slide. Okay, so what are the signs and symptoms? No, you won't bring them to us, but you will notice things, and it's important for teachers and for parents to identify. Number one, it's a crisis for any parent. When a child tells you, Ma, ayoko nang pumasok sa school. No? Avoiding school is number one concern for parents. No? Or they don't, wala nang ganang mag-online. No? They don't want to study. But they think, you think they're studying, but iba-iba yung tinitignan nilang sites. Very low self-esteem. Makikita man naman yan nila, they keep on looking down. I just finished therapy with a young boy of 12 years old who was being bullied, no? And he had very, very low self-esteem, no? You can see that his hair covered his face. He didn't want to look at anybody. Then they report health problems. Palagi masakit ang tiyan, nagtatae, was this masakit ang ulo, no? And you can see that they have trouble sleeping or frequent nightmares, no? It can be very, very traumatic for them kasi paulit-ulit yan pumapasok to the point na nakakarinig na sila ng mga boses, yung sinasabi nilang auditory hallucinations, no? Sometimes it's a stress-related problem. Don't think na it's a severe mental illness, no? It can be associated with severe stress. Then detachment from friends, no? They avoid because, or sometimes they're excluded from the peer group. Sudden withdrawal from home, sudden anger range, and sometimes they have self-destructive behavior that you don't know where it's coming from. And for some, they resort to substance abuse. Next slide. But what's important is that's why if these signs and symptoms continue, then it will become distressful for the child. And that's when they develop anxiety, depression, anxiety, yung sinasabi nilang atake ng nervyos, no? When they have to go to school, they start crying, no? O umiiyak, o ayaw pumasok, o nagtatago, or sasabihin ng papasok, pero iba ang pupuntahan nila, no? Depression is also noted na yung dati nilang, kakaiba na ang behavior nila. Yung dati mong alam na very jolly, madaldal, ngayon ayaw nang makipagkita, no? They don't want to go online and they don't want to study anymore. They don't want to do anything and they're not able to take care of themselves. Then other stress-related problems, like we have what we call post-traumatic stress disorders, no? When the bullying is severe, dense, and frequent. And that gives rise to a higher risk for suicidal thoughts, suicidal attempts, and maybe even, sad to say, completed suicide. No? And but before that, there's criminal offending for the bullies, and you can see that sign naman, there's a high rate of school dropout. Next slide. So, if you were a teacher or you were a parent, what are the behavioral signs of being a victim of bullying? Okay, being emotionally upset during or using or after using the internet or the phone, nagagalit sila. Being very secretive or protective of one's digital life. Then, there is withdrawal from family members, friends, and activities. They avoid school or group gatherings. And if you see their academic performance, it starts dropping. They slipping grades and acting out in anger at home. They have changes in mood, behavior, sleep, or appetite. They want to stop using the computer or cell phone because they're scared, no? Pag ring lang ng o pag lumabas ng signal ng text message, ninenervous na sila. Being nervous or jumpy when getting an instant message, text, or email, and avoiding discussions about computer or cell phone activities. These are behavioral signs. Remember, be very observant of your children. Next slide. Okay, so what can we do as parents? How can we help? How can parents help? I think this has been mentioned, but I'd like just to tell you 5 things. Talk about any bullying experience for your child, for them not to feel alone. When they show you a text message, okay, so look at it and try to scroll down and try to see, and even if, as we mentioned, if you want to report this to the teacher or to the school, even take a screenshot of that text message, document it so that it's very clear that this is a case of bullying. Let your child know that it's not their fault, for whatever they did, it's not their fault. And bullying is wrong and hurtful. Okay? Praise your child for doing the right thing by talking to you. It's not easy for a child to open up. And if they open up because they want to say the right thing, nyo naman silang pagalitan because it will send wrong messages to the children na ito gumagawa na ng maayos at mabuti, pinapagalitan natin pa. Hindi po yun ang dapat. We have to affirm and we have to validate for them for doing a good job. Okay? Report the incident to the school authorities, letting your child know what you plan to do, and keep the threatening messages, pictures, and text as evidence with screenshots. And encourage your child, remember not to respond to the bullying. What other things also can we do? Can I have the next slide? Okay. Next slide. Other measures. Okay, as we mentioned, you have to block the bully. Most devices have settings that allow you to electronically block emails, text messages from specific people. Limit their access to technology. As you know, and I have said in the previous talks that we've had, increase down ang physical time activities ng mga bata because of this quarantine lockdown and online learning, and up ang screen time. You know how much screen time spent by children? Almost, aside from the schooling, almost 3 to 3 hours every day. Wala na silang physical activity. Encourage your children to have physical activity even at home. Tapos know your kids' online world, no? Ask to friend or follow your children on social media. And if you're following your child on social media, do not comment. Be just one more like their friends, no? Do not abuse this privilege by commenting or posting anything to your child's profile, no? Not to say, but you can talk about it with your child, no? Was this? Let's talk about this. I see this post. In fact, we're encouraging parents to tell their children anything that's private to the family, not to post it online. No? I mean, may bagong kaming cellphone or may bagong TV. Sometimes the children are very proud of their parents. But if something that's very private, it's best not to tell the whole world because that's something that's private. They have to learn what's privacy to the family. No? And then learn about ways to keep your children safe online. So that's also a very important thing because encourage them to safeguard passwords and to never post their address or whereabouts when they are out of the house. No, that they're here, that they're eating in this place, going to this. Then write up cell phone and social media contracts that you are willing to enforce, especially with your kids. Next slide. Okay. So here, well, one of the most important thing, and I'll end with this, no? The best way to keep your child safe is that they feel safe in a relationship. And how important now is family bonding during this COVID times because there's a lot of fear outside, no? And we have to express love and care towards our family members, especially reassure each one that your basic needs will be met. Now, if parents have to work outside, well, you have the older children to guide the younger children in the use of social media. Be sensitive again to family members who may be worried and fearful, and organize your home that they all feel comfortable and relaxed. No, I'm sure space is going to be a problem because you have quite a number of kids. Well, you'll have to have a place where this is only study time. Dito nga sa Manila, Mayor Isko Morena enforced that no karaoke during class hours, no? Because nadidistract ang mga bata, especially in a very dense barangay population. So, respect that study time of your kids. Pag-aral, aral lang, no? And it's good na you also, hindi naman binabantayan natin, ang pwede natin gawin is to check on them and to see how they're doing. No? And avoid conflicts and arguments at this time because children will feel more motivated to study if they feel supported, no? That their parents want them to succeed in their studies. It will help them to succeed in life. So I think I will end here. This is and I have 2 more slides. Next slide. I just wanted that, now what happens when your child is bullied? If you have a child, is the bully. So anong gagawin? What does the teacher and the parents do? if you have a child who is a bully. Address the problem by talking to your child firmly about his action and explain the negative impact that it is wrong and hurtful. And bullying is unacceptable. Huwag yung batukan, huwag yung sampalin, no? Because that's also one reason why children bully, because of learned behavior of violence at home. Okay? So remind your child that the use of a cell phone or computer is a privilege, no? And it helps to restrict the use of these devices until their behavior improves. So may timeline yan, no? Set strict parental control on all devices. And if your child has trouble managing his anger, then you need to refer so that he learns to cope with anger, frustration, hurt, and strong emotion. There is one thing that I'd like to teach parents and teachers. Encourage a lot of physical activity for your children. This is the best time, this is the best time, their age group, for them to have more physical activities. That's the sad part because it deprives them of physical activities. Encourage tumbang preso, patintero, no, takbuhan. Mas maganda ho yan because why? Because physical activity will help them to have a sportive spirit. Matalo sila, well, di sila mag-aalala kasi there's another game and this time they want to win. That's a sportive spirit. Number two, they'll not be afraid to join a healthy competition, no? And they know how to win or to lose a game. I mean, if you lose a game, okay, next time they'll try again, but it's hindi man sila nag-aaway. And they know how to be sport with each other and abide by the rules of the game. So it's fair for everybody. So there are a lot of things that I would like parents and teachers to encourage their students, no? To encourage a lot of physical activity, at least 1 hour a day for the students. Next slide. Okay, so well, I'd like to ask your support. I mean, we will be implementing na udot lang nung pandemic, but hopefully by the end of June we will start our national survey for mental health, no? And this will include not only the adults but also the children and adolescents. And hopefully after this survey, we will be able to share with DOH a questionnaire that has been validated in Filipino. This is the Strengths and Difficulties questionnaire that teachers can use, parents can use, and even the older children can use. No, it's a questionnaire that can determine what are the common behavioral problems in children, whether it's conduct disorder, ADHD, kasama ho dyan, substance abuse, kasama ho dyan, internet use, kasama ho dyan, no? And which the parents can fill up so that as early as now, it can be detected at magagawan ng paraan. So, meron ho kaming Facebook, Lingap sa Pamilyang Pilipino, Project Lima, sa bawat pamilyang Pilipino. Please watch out for this. And when we go to your regions, please do welcome us, no, so that we can do a proper data collection for our survey on children and adolescents. So maraming salamat po, and I end up here. You can always get in touch with us through our Facebook.
Thank you
so much, Dr. Sana. Sabay pa tayo, Dr. Ching, ano?
Next one, dami kong natutunan sa presentation nito.
Ako din. We would like to request the rest of the speakers, Ma'am Aiza, Sir John, and Miss Stella to join us in the gallery para po sa ating open forum. Marami tayong natutunan sa kanila, pero kay Dr. Sana gusto ko mag-enroll ulit. Gusto ko mag-aral ulit kasi nakaka-enjoy yung mga presentations na ganito. Pero para po sa ating panel, sa ating 4 resource persons, thank you for all the knowledge that you've shared. So ito po yung ating nagbabagang tanong. Isang posibleng pagkakataon ay kung ang bahay hindi rin reliable or safe space para sa mga bata kung sa usapin ng cyberbullying. Halimbawa, broken family, no soul lecture, hanggang saan po kaya yung kayang i-cover na responsibility ng mga schools o future? Anyone can actually answer from our 4 guest speakers kasi parang siyempre bahay na ito sariling pamilya na yan. Pero we also want to protect the children, right? because they might be being abused.
Yes, that's right.
So, ano kaya yung pwede na gawin nila teacher, o hanggang saan lang yung pwede nilang gawin? CWC, stay away, or no? Yes, Sir John?
Okay po. Siguro yung sa perspective namin, since we are working with the Department of Education dun sa child protection policy nila, yung Death Order 40 series of cases as well. And yung kanina lang sinasabi natin na mechanism of cyberbullying, which is yung Death Order number 55 series of 2013. So, kung ang bata ay, for example, ang protector or ang offender ng bata ay ang magulang na mismo, ito ay sakop pa din dahil makikita natin ang landscape ng education natin ay yung kanilang tahanan ay extended ng kanilang paaralan. So bahagi din ng pagsasabi nila or disclosure nila sa kanilang mga teachers ay kung ano yung mga nangyayari na nararanasan ng mga bata, kung may abuse or may violence sa kanilang mga. Also, itinuturo din namin sa mga bata sa bahagi ng behavior ay kung nasan sila ng pang-abuso, whether online or offline, kung pwede silang magsabi sa kanilang trusted adults. And itong trusted adults na ito are not only limited to their parents. Their trusted adults can be found in their community, in their kapitbahay, in their school, or wherever communities na engage sila. So kung merong disclosure or may abuse, pwede silang magsabi sa teacher, pwede silang magsabi sa barangay, na yun mismo yung makakatulong sa kanila on how to address these kind of
Nakikita ko si Miss Aiza na talagang nagpe-prepare na. Gusto na niyang sabihin na, hoy, bata, ikaw ay mahalaga. So, Miss Aiz Cabrera, ano po yung masasagot nila?
Yun, siguro po, sususugan ko lang yung sinabi ni Sir JM, Oo, mahalaga yun na ma-identify ng mga bata yung kanilang ibang support system. Tama din yun na hindi lang ito necessary na limited sa mga magulang or sa mga kamag-anak. Minsan pa nga, di ba, sabi nga natin even as adults, minsan sinasabi natin na mas okay pa nga yung iba na hindi natin kakilala kasi sila pa minsan yung nakakatulong sa atin. So, in the same manner, to explain that, siguro po, gusto natin i-emphasize na mayroon din tayong mga structures at sa barangay level, lalong-lalo na yung ating mga barangay councils for the protection of children. Ito yung mga taong pwedeng lapitan, pwedeng makausap, na in case si teacher ay, sabi nga niya ay hanggang dito na lang yung kaya kong ibigay na assistance para sa aking estudyante. Ito po yung mga maaaring sumalo or makatuwang natin para mas maprotektahan yung ating mga bata. Yun po ang aking sagot.
So much, Miss Aiz.
Dr. Sandra, you have anything to add po? With that?
Dr. Myself? Okay. What we know from the child protection unit, if a child is, usually the teacher reports, the teacher is able to pick up was this child cyberbullying in school because the child would not easily open up to the parents. So it has to be, remember in the child protection law, mandatory reporting para sa mga bata. So kailangan i-report yan ng school. Now, if the home is the problem, then I think what the person who needs to get involved is the social service for the protection of children and adolescents. So that's mandatory reporting for children. It's not the same for women victims of abuse, but for children, it's mandatory reporting by law. So there, the barangay, they have a committee for women and children, and then also at the municipal level. So meron tayong mga social workers who are trained. This is the mandate of the anti-vowsy law, training on women and child protection.
Thank you, Dr. Sana. So, Miss Stella, comment po?
Tama po yung sinabi ko. I'd like to point out lang ito the importance that yung person is able to incorporate it doon sa information dissemination nila on the protocols and what to do yung layers kung pwede nila puntahan outside home. Kasi baka kulang, ay hindi naman sa kulang, pero siguro dapat ma-explain natin sa mga bata na ito, repeated your information and something sa kanila na outside your home, apart from your teachers, from your guidance counselor, there are other people na makakasisip naman yung connection natin in our society and outside of it.
Salamat po dyan. So, last na katanungan ko na sa kanila, Rex, no, we were talking about the school helping the children, no, in terms of pag-abuse. Paano naman po, meron pa bang mga institution na nagbibigay ng libreng servisyo, halimbawa po mga psychologists or psychiatrists o mga social workers na maaaring matawagan, so kung sakasakali po kinakailangan ito ng ating mga kabataan. Meron po bang mga servisyo?
Definitely. From the Philippine General Hospital, we have the Child Protection Unit, and it's open 24/7. So, of course, kasama ng mga bata, usually the parents, no? So we have a 24/7. Not because it's a COVID-19 center, it's still open, no? Separate po ang wards ng mga COVID-19 patients. So wag po silang matakot na pag pumunta sila sa PGH, baka ma-COVID sila. No, that's not true. We are already slowly opening up our services, and there is a hotline which they can, to make an appointment, or if it's really an emergency, well, the Child Protection Unit is open 24/7.
Thank you, Dr. JM or Miss Aisa. Mayroon po ba kayong maaaring maturo na mga maaaring tawagan bukod po sa nabanggit ni Dr. Rosana?
Yes po, maganda din po yan, no, na na-mention yung tungkol na sa CPU. Very active po sila doon na talagang tumutugon. Siyempre, huwag nating kalimutan na on the side of the government, siyempre, andun po ang DSWD na maraming nakaagapay. Whenever there is a child being abused, alam naman natin, parang automatic nagre-ring sa mind natin yung DSWD, no? So, may mga field offices po yan all over the 17 regions, which we can always call on to. At pati po yung mga bahagi natin kanina mga child hotlines, maybe we can share later to all our participants. We can really call po and talk to the professionals whenever needed. Yun po, ma'am.
Miss Ice, isang quick question lang kasi sobrang importante nito. Ang tinatanong ni Florita Habog is, labag po ba sa batas kung magpo-post ang teacher ng mga pictures ng bata ang nag-aaral o sumasagot ng modules sa Facebook?
Ayun po. Kung simpleng pagpo-post lang naman po without the intent of harming them, sa palagay ko po, wala namang nalalabag doon, ano. Meron po tayong mga media guidelines para po sa na maaring gamitin or maaring tignan para mag-guide tayo kung yung bang mga pinopost natin ay proper pa or hindi na. Usually po, kapag mga bata ang involved, especially kung mga activities ito, mas maganda kung nasisik po natin or nakukuha po natin yung consent ng kanilang mga guardian, ano, or ng mga magulang. At syempre yung bata mismo. Kung merong tinatawag na consent, meron din tinatawag na assent. Meaning, kapag hindi sila pumayag na i-post ito or makita yung mukha nila doon, may karapatan po silang tumanggi. So, meron din silang karapatang magreklamo in case na gamitin po yun nung nagpaalam pero hindi pinayagan. So,
Thank you, Miss Ice. Yes, Sir JM.
Sir, can I just add? Maganda yung sagot ni Ma'am Aisha, no? Pero pwede natin sa mga paaralan, balikan ulit natin yung Department Order 40, Series of 2012, which is yung child protection policy ng bawat school. And nakasaad dito na dapat ang bawat school ay magkakaroon ng localized na child protection nila. And ngayon, since we are in a pandemic, we are encouraging each school na magkaroon din ng online safeguarding. Dahil although kahit tayo ay nasa printed modules ng mga bata, ang means of communication pa rin natin ay sa pamamagitan ng social media, ng internet. So kinakailangan magkaroon tayo ng online safeguarding at dito lalamanin kung pwede ba na mag-post sa individual account ng teacher ang mga school activities ng kanilang mga bata or saan lang po pwedeng i-post yung mga activities na ito at anong uri ng mga pictures lamang ang po pwede lang.
Next, ang daming katanungan, no? interesting kasi itong topic natin eh.
Yes,
So,
oo, Dr. Jing, pero sobrang dami nating tanong at dami nating natutunan, but dahil limited po ang ating time, we really need to move to the other segment, Dr. Jing.
Oo, so kung meron po kayong mga katanungan pa po, so maaari naman po kayo mag-email sa akapuroconnected@gmail.com. O, so yung sa mga hindi pa po namin mga nasagot na katanungan. So, yun po, gusto palaro sa hapong ito. So ngayon naman, I'm very privileged to have with us Rex, no, ang dalawa brilliant and beautiful.
Yung mga social gatherings sa mga bahay, yung mga enclosed spaces na poor ang ventilation, at higit sa lahat, talagang yung nagkaroon sila ng mga breaks talaga sa mga protocol, no? Yung mga nakalimutan sila hand washing nila, yung wearing of mask, yung physical distancing, things that are really preventable and avoidable. Yun ang nakakatulong. But so far, yun naman, nasugpo naman, medyo parang outbreak, kasi parang dalawang barangay lang yun eh. So talagang medyo ngayon, bumababa na naman.
So that's good to know po, no, in Baguio, no, kasi talagang minsan kalimutan mo, ano ba yung dapat gagawin? So hindi natin kakalimutan na nandito pa rin po si COVID-19 at malaki na Pilipinas.
Yeah.
Sa family, nagmumula siya eh. Ma'am Bel, kamusta naman po?
Hello again from Cebu. Kung naalala nyo, di ba nung June, naging epicenter ng COVID dito sa Philippines. Oo, yung Cebu. So, luckily naman, for the past few weeks, I can see that we are flattening the curve, no? Meron pa rin konti-konti na cases, but usually single digit or two digit lang, usually less than 20 naman per day. And we all attribute this to the public and private partnership, no? Ng sa private sector at mga government agencies din. And very important din, very vital yung role ng aming Emergency Operations Center dito sa Cebu. Kasi initially, nangangapa, no? Parang the whole Philippines nangangapa paano i-manage yung pandemic. So, slowly but surely, nai-improve naman natin yung ating tracing, isolation, no? Tsaka yung treating of patients. So,
magandang malaman yun, Ma'am Bel, no? Kasi so, dapat talaga tulong-tulong tayo, hindi lang isang organization. Each stakeholders would really contribute para masugpo natin yung COVID-19. Siguro gusto ko rin i-take yung opportunity na to bilang mga infectious, no? Kasi po, nakakalimutan na may iba pa rin sakit, no? Yung iba naman ay pwede rin maiwasan sa pagbabakuna. Meron po ba kayong masasabi tungkol dito, no? Kasi you know that there are still a lot of infectious disease na kayari. Nakakalimutan natin na children are also at risk. Bel?
Oo, tama ka dyan, no? Diba? Kasi nga dahil sa pandemic, nagkaroon talaga ng disruption sa mga routine na mga pagbabakuna. Kasi talagang ang daming bata ngayon at risk talaga, wag nating kakalimutan, at risk sa tikta, measles, andyan pa rin si polio, andyan pa yung iba, mga trangkaso, flu, yung pong mga ating mga pneumonia, and these are really vaccine preventable as you said. Oo, so let's take this opportunity na hindi po healthy po, improve pa natin lalo yung immunity to make sure na i-update yung mga bakuna. Kung meron pong mga
immunization activities po sa ating mga barangay, sa ating POH. Suportahan po natin, dalhin po natin yung ating mga anak, di ba, para po mabakunahan. At sa ganon, lumakas talaga ang kanilang immunity.
Right, no? So, Ma'am Bel, kayo naman po, so kanina pinag-uusapan natin itong cyberbullying. So, meron po ba kayong tayo sa mga teachers at sa mga bata para mapanatili yung kanilang immunity during this time of pandemic? So, ensure.
So aside from continuously observing the minimum health protocols, yung 3 Ws natin, no, sa community at maski sa bahay, no, especially yung hand washing sa bahay, importante din yun. Kailangan yung proper nutrition sa mga babies, mga mommies, kailangan ipagpatuloy, encourage yung breastfeeding, very important yan para may protection against mga common childhood illnesses. Tapos sa mga teachers naman natin, bawas-bawasan natin ating salt intake, sugar intake, no? At saka kung may mga maintenance medications, ipagpatuloy natin. At na-mention din kanina ng ating speaker, si Doc Rosana, yung exercise. Medyo mahirap siya, pero alam ko, kaya-kaya natin yan, no? 1 hour per day daw, no? Pwede bang 30 minutes? Why not? Basta
meron, no?
Oo. Tapos, yung ano din, aside from yung physical health, dapat yung mental health din natin, tutunan din natin ng pansin. And vaccination, of course.
Oo, no? So, salamat po sa inyong pagbabahagi, no? And I'm really happy na yun nga po kumukonte ang mga cases sa inyong mga lugar at hopefully talagang masumpunan natin itong problemang ito at huwag kalilimutan na may iba pang mga sakit na maakuha na ating mga bata, even the mga matatanda, no? So maraming salamat po, Rex.
Salamat sa update, Doc Bell and Doc Liz. And thank you so much, Dr. Jing, for the questions. Mukhang nag-enjoy kayo sa inyong kwentuhan. Panahon naman po upang i-announce natin ang mga nanalo sa schools with most registrants and attendees sa AKAP Guru webinar today. Ang 10 schools po na mapalad na tatanggap ng 1,000 bottles of Apibon multivitamins ay ang pleasant afternoon. Bye-bye!
Bye!
Hi, kamusta po kayo? Binabati ko mga guro na nanonood sa atin sa mga sandali ito. Mga minamahal naming guro, maraming salamat sa lahat ng mga sakripisyong ginagawa ninyo para sa mga estudyante ninyo, para sa mag-aaral na Pilipino. Alam niyo ba kung paano kalaki at kalakas ang influensya niyo sa inyong mga estudyante?